Okay, dear students, today our topic is continuation part of pharmacology of anti-hypertensive drugs. In the last class, we can study regarding the hypertension, risk factors, symptoms, then as well as regulations of blood pressure, along with the classifications of the anti-hypertensive drugs. So now we learn regarding the pharmacology or pharmacological actions of the anti-hypertensive drugs. So first regarding pharmacology of RAS inhibitors are renin angiotensin system inhibitors. So these drugs, so they are mainly acts on the RAS system. Somewhere they can block the activity of renin, or so they can block the activity of angiotensin 2, or they can block the aldosterone activity. So those drugs, so they are inhibit the overactivity of RAS system. Such drugs are known as the RAS inhibitor. So these are the first line drugs for treatment of the any conditions of the hypertensions or elevated blood pressures. So RAS inhibitors are used when diuretics and beta blockers are failed to treat the hypertension. So beta blockers, so having some limited effects, and as well as they are participate in the ADR. So where they are fail, for example, the beta blockers are fail during the asthma. Okay, so where they can contraindicated in the asthma. So where we are not use the beta blockers. And diuretics, if the person's having loss of body fluids or less amount of electrolytes, on that time the diuretics we do not use for the treatment of the hypertension. So the left drug is a RAS inhibitor. So that's why RAS inhibitors are used when the diuretics and the beta blockers are failed to treat the hypertension, and these are the first line drug for used for the treatment of the hypertensions. So AC inhibitors are most useful in hypertension treatment when hypertension was complicated with diabetes. It means the person having hypertension along with the diabetes. So where the AC inhibitors are beneficial because the beta blockers, so they are also participate or worsen the diabetic conditions. So that's why if the patient having hypertensions along with diabetes, so where they are used the AC inhibitors. Then hyperuricemia, so beta blockers or any other drugs, so they are also increases the uric levels. So where we are used the AC inhibitors, and as well as they are used during the hypertension along with the diabetic and hypertension nephropathy. If the kidney was in the under the problems, so on that times or any weak conditions of the kidney, if the person having suffering from the hypertension means were also the AC inhibitors are used for the management of the hypertension. So they are complicated along with the diabetic and hypertension nephropathy. So that's why AC inhibitors are the first line drugs. Among the important RAS inhibitors are captopril, enalaprils, then losartan and valsartans. So here the captopril, enalapril, so they are mainly inhibit the ACE enzyme, that is angiotensin converting enzyme. So this enzyme frequently found in the vascular of the lungs or inside the lungs blood vessels. So where it can convert angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2. So these drug captopril, enalaprils, so they are inhibit the source of angiotensin 2. So like that, so they are helpful for the treatment of the hypertension. But according to the RAS system, the angiotensin 2 without need of angiotensin 1, it is also formed with the help of the chymase enzyme. So that enzyme can convert without need of that is the AC enzyme. It also convert the angiotensin 2 by angiotensin 1. So where we are using certain conditions, we are using the losartan and valsartan. So these drugs, so they are mainly block the angiotensin receptors. So that's why these drugs are also known as the angiotensin receptor blockers. That is ARB is nothing but angiotensin receptor blockers. Examples are a losartan. So they are inhibit the directly angiotensin-2 receptor. So due to lack of binding of angiotensin-2 on angiotensin receptors, so they are helpful for the management of the hypertension. So regarding the mechanism of action of these drug, so these drug mainly decreases the peripheral vascular resistance. So to decrease of the peripheral vascular resistance, so these drug they can decreases the afterload, that is the load on the cardiac muscle or load on the blood vessels. So to decrease in the afterload, so they can helpful for to decrease the elevated blood pressure. And second mechanism, so these drug they can block the AC enzyme, then they can inhibit the biosynthesis of angiotensin 2. So due to this they can cancel the vasoconstriction. Instead of vasoconstriction, they are produces the vasodilatations by cancelling the vasoconstriction activity that can induced by the angiotensin 2. So this mechanism is also beneficial for treatment of the hypertension by increasing the size of the or diameters of the blood vessels. And third mechanism, so AC inhibitors also inhibit the breakdown of bradykinin. So already you know regarding the pharmacology of bradykinin. So that bradykinin was metabolized by in the presence of the ACE enzyme. So here these drug they are inhibit the AC enzyme, then they also block the breakdown or metabolism of the bradykinin. And bradykinin, it is a one of the important or useful local hormones or autokines secreted in our body. It mainly produces the or it is a potent vasodilator. It can dilate the blood vessels. It is potentially. So due to dilatations of the blood vessel, the diameters of blood vessels is increases. So due to that, the pressure on the blood, so that was decreases by increasing the concentrations of bradykinin by using the ACE inhibitors, because the same enzyme is required for metabolism of bradykinins. Then, so due to increase the elevations of bradykinin, automatically the nitric oxide and prostacyclin level was increases. Prostacyclin, it can show the antiplatelet activity. It can prevent the formations of the blood clot or plug inside the blood vessels. So due to that, they can improve the circulations by avoiding the further development of the blood clot inside the blood vessels by enhancing the prostacyclin activity. So here NC inhibitors, so they also improve or increase the concentrations of beneficial effect of prostacyclin, and as well as the bradykinin is also increases the concentrations of nitric oxide or AC inhibitors. So they enhance the oxide concentration by enhancing the bradykinin by inhibiting the metabolism of bradykinin. This nitric oxide, it can react with the calmodulins, then it can enhance the guanyl synthetase enzyme activity. So that guanyl synthetase enzyme is required for conversions of GMP into cyclic GMP, and cyclic GMP is a powerful smooth muscle relaxant. It can relax the smooth muscle or it can relax the blood vessel. So due to that, the blood pressure is decreases by enhancing the nitric oxide concentration. So this is the one of the important mechanism of the AC inhibitor. So like that, the AC inhibitors, so they are helpful for the management of the hypertension, because one side they are decrease the afterload and other side they inhibit the vasoconstrictor agent like angiotensin 2, and they can enhance the beneficial effect of vasodilatations by bradykinin, nitric oxide and prostacyclin. So that's why always, so these AC inhibitors, so they can correct the blood pressure or they can decrease the blood pressure or they decrease the load on the heart. So that's why it is also one of the reason, so they are used for the first line drug for treatment of the any kind of the hypertensions. So next we can study regarding the pharmacological effect. So AC inhibitors or RAS inhibitors, so they are mainly dilate the arteries and veins by blocking the angiotensin 2 formation by targeting the AC enzyme or directly by blocking the angiotensin 2 receptors. So due to that, so they can dilate the arteries, or they increase the diameters of the arteries as well as the diameters of the veins. If the diameters of vein is increases, means the pressure in the vein that was decreases. In the vein, the maximum pressure is about 17 mmSg. So that pressure is also decreases. If pressure was decreases, means the venous blood is slowly returned to the heart. So due to slow return to the heart, the preload on the heart or load on the heart, so that was decreases. And so these drug also dilate the arteries. So due to dilatations of arteries, the pressure in the arteries was decreases. So that's why the slowly blood can goes to the organ. So like that, so these drugs, so they are shows the vasodilatations of arteries as well as vasodilatations of the vanules or veins. That's why they are helpful for the management of the hypertension. So due to vasodilatation, so they are reduce the arterial pressure. It is one of the important for considerations of the pathogenesis of hypertension, because you only consider the arterial pressure. So that is the blood pressure. Okay, then as well as it can decrease the preload as well as afterload on the heart. Okay, so these due to dilatation, so they are helpful for completely, so they can decrease the load on the heart. So second effect, so they are also decrease the activity of sympathetic nervous system in CNS. So due to that, they are inhibit the release and reuptake of norepinephrine. So norepinephrine, it is one of the main neurotransmitters of the sympathomimetic nervous system, and here formed angiotensin 2, it can stimulate the sympathetic activity by centrally or through ANS or in the hypothalamus. So due to activations of ANS by angiotensin 2, the sympathetic activity was increases. So due to increase of sympathetic nerve activity, so they are releases the norepinephrine, or they are restore the norepinephrine for further release. Okay, without metabolism, so they are reuptake. So the like that the norepinephrine level was increases toward the blood vessels, towards the ganglia, or toward the cardiac muscle. So this norepinephrine, it is a powerful vasoconstrictor. It can constrict the blood vessel, it can constrict the cardiac muscle, or it can constrict the or contract the smooth muscle by causing the accumulations of calcium, because norepinephrine, so they acts through the alpha receptor as well as beta receptor, so they are enhance the concentrations of calcium. So as the calcium concentration increases, automatically the contraction was increases by blood vessels as well as cardiac muscle. So due to that, the blood pressure was increases. So here the RAS inhibitors, so they are decrease the sympathetic activity by centrally, and as well as they are decrease the release and reuptake of norepinephrine. So due to that, they are decrease the concentrations of norepinephrine in the sympathetic nervous system in the body. And third one, so these drugs, so they are promote the renal excretions of sodium and water by showing a natriuretic and a diuretic effect by blocking the effect of angiotensin in the kidney. Because so this once the angiotensin 2 is formed, it can send information to the CNS or hypothalamus. Then hypothalamus, it can releases the ADH, that is antidiuretic hormones, and same angiotensin 2, it can send information to the adrenal cortex through a hypothalamus, through a ACTH. Then adrenal cortex, it is involved in the release of the aldosterone. So that aldosterone, it can acts on the nephron, where it can enhance the reabsorptions of sodium and water along with the other electrolytes. So like that, the aldosterone, it can increase the body fluids along with sodium, calcium, or many other electrolytes. So those are involved in the two cause of the hypertension. And here the RAS inhibitors, so they are completely block the formations of angiotensin 2. And lack of angiotensin 2, the hypothalamus, it do not secrete the, that is aldosterone as well as the antidiuretic hormone. So due to deficiency of aldosterone, so these drug they are reduces the blood volume or venous pressure as well as the arterial force. So this is the one of the action that was helpful for the management of the hypertension by a RAS inhibitors. So another one is a, so they are also inhibit the cardiac and vascular remodeling associated with the chronic hypertension. So remodeling means the excess of tissues or muscle was formed. If it is correct, that is helpful for repairing process. If it is excess was formed, so then the size of the ventricle was increases. So dear students, here the angiotensin 2, it is mainly involved in the remodeling of the ventricles as well as remodeling of the blood vessels or formations of the blood vessels. If it is activity was excess, so more blood walls was formed or vessels was formed. So due to that the lumen was decreases. So to decrease the lumen, the diameter decreases, then automatically the pressure was increases. So then the person was suffering from the hypertension due to by increase the cardiac and vascular remodeling by a angiotensin 2. And same angiotensin 2, it was involved in the remodeling of the ventricles. Especially, it can cause the accumulation or enlargement of the ventricles. So due to enlargement of ventricles, then the person was suffering from the hypertrophy, or that is the size of the heart was increases, especially in the left ventricle. So as the size was increases, automatically the pressure on the blood was decreases during the contractions. Okay, or due to that the CNS was activated, certain pressure decrease, it gets more activated, that it can enhance the more and more and more pressure. So due to that, due to abnormalities in the left ventricle or due to hypertrophy of the left ventricle, then hypertension is occurs, or due to enlargement ventricle, so the more blood was accumulated or filled during the relaxations or dilatation, so then also the more pressure was increases, so that was participate in the chronic hypertension. So that is the role of the angiotensin 2. It is involved in the to cause the hypertrophy of the ventricle. So due to that, the person was suffering from the chronic hypertension or heart failure or myocardial infarction. So here the RAS inhibitors, so they are completely block the angiotensin activity regarding the cardiac and vascular modeling. So due to that reason, so they are helpful for the treatment of the hypertension where the ventricles are swell or the ventricles are enlarged, especially the left ventricles. Okay, if the heart was swelled, so where the choice of the drug is a RAS inhibitors, because other drug definitely they decrease the blood pressure, but they do not have any role on the hypertrophy. If the heart was swell, so due to that the person was suffering from hypertension means where you should be use the RAS inhibitors, other drug was fail otherwise. Okay, so next we learn regarding the pharmacokinetic. So these all drug they are administered by oral routes. Okay, then so they are bound to tissue protein as well as the plasma protein. If they are bound to tissue protein means so their duration of action was increases, they are they are become the more potent. If they are bound to plasma protein means so they once again their durations of action increases, but the ability bioavailability of the drug was decreases. So here the RAS inhibitors, so they are bound both tissue protein as well as the plasma protein. So they are mainly metabolized in the liver, then they are excreted through a urines. So regarding ADR, so they are produces the dry cups, especially enalapril. This commonly produces the dry cups, then as well as rash, then skin rashes, then fever, then alter they can alter the taste, then hyperkalemia. So these are the ADR of the RAS inhibitors. Or the RAS poisoning is also monitored by monitoring the concentrations of the potassium in the blood. So regarding therapeutic uses of RAS inhibitors, so they are used for the treatment of the hypertension, then as well as so they are used in treatment of left ventricular dysfunction. It is occurs due to enlargement of left ventricle, and here that enlargement is occurs due to angiotensin 2, and these drugs they inhibit the angiotensin 2. So due to that they are helpful for treatment of the hypertrophy or also known as the left ventricular dysfunctions. So they are also helpful for treatment of the congestive heart failure, then as well as so they are helpful for the treatment of the diabetic nephropathy, because the angiotensin through angiotensin receptors, so they are involved in the cause of the nephrotoxicity. So that's why, so these drugs, so they are inhibit the angiotensin, then they are helpful for treatment of the kidney failure during the diabetic mellitus. Okay, so next we learn regarding the pharmacology of calcium channel blockers. So dear students, so these drugs are also known as the calcium channel antagonist or calcium antagonist. So these are the special type of medication. So they are helpful for commonly used for the treatment of the hypertension, because so they can disrupt or they can inhibit the entry of the calcium inside the blood vessels or inside the cardiac muscle, inhibiting or by inactivating the calcium channels. And here the once again the calcium channels, so they are mainly classified into three types. The first one is a voltage gated calcium channel. So these calcium channels are only open when they can guard the positive potential or voltage. So due to that only, so they are open, they are operate. So due to that, so these channels are known as the voltage gated channels. Once again, the voltage gated calcium channels, so they are sub classified into three types, that is L type calcium channels, that is long lasting current type calcium channel, then T type calcium channel, so these are transient current type calcium channel. Then C1 is a N type calcium channel, so these are the neuronal current calcium channels. It means so N type, so they are present in the neuron, and T is a transient. It means so they are helpful for the movement of the action potential from one neuron to the another neuron, or from one cell to the another cell, or from SA node to AV node to like that. So that is the, so these are locations of the T type of the calcium channels. Then L type, they are long lasting, so they are present especially in the cardiac muscle as well as the in the CNS. So these are the voltage gated. Only when the depolarization is occurs due to accumulation of sodium, then only so these channels can open or activated, then only they can allow the entry of the calcium inside the neuron or inside the blood vessel cells or inside the cardiac cells. And second type calcium channels are known as the receptor mediated calcium channel. Okay, so these channels are activated by a ligand like adrenaline or many other drugs are there, or neurotransmitters they can operate. Then third one is a leak calcium channel. So automatically they can leak the calcium. They allow the entry of the calcium without any ligand or without any voltage. So such calcium channels are known as the leaked calcium channel. It can operated by a calcium ATPase or mechanical stretch. They can activate the leak calcium channel, then only the calcium can enter inside the muscles or inside the any cells. So like that, so these are the three types of calcium channels. So here, so these calcium channel blocker, so they can block the calcium channel activity. Then so they can inhibit the entry of the calcium through a these calcium channels inside the cardiac muscles or inside the blood vessel. So due to that, they can cancel the vasoconstriction, and they can, instead of vasoconstriction, so they can favor the vasodilatation. So due to vasodilatations, the blood pressure was decreased. So due to this phenomena, the calcium channel blocker, so they are employed for the treatment of the hypertension. So examples are, that is verapamil, dilatizums, nifedipine, amlodipine, then as well as the philodipine. So these are main examples of the calcium channel blocker. They are commonly employed or used for the treatment of the hypertension. So regarding the actions, so on the smooth muscle, so they causes the relaxation by decreasing the calcium. So calcium is required for the phosphorylations of troponin, and troponin if phosphorylated means the actin myosin filament can fall down, then they can come to close together, then they can cause the contractions. And here these drug, they inhibit the calcium release or entry of calcium. So then they can produce the relaxations of the smooth muscles. In the heart, so these drug, they can show the negative inotropic effect as well as negative chronotropic effect. So negative inotropic effect, due to that they can decreases the force of contraction, and chronotropic effect, they can decrease the heart rate, because the force of contraction was mainly depending upon the ability of the calcium, and these drugs they inhibit the calcium, so like that they decrease the force of contraction. And generations of action potential or conductions of action potential from SN node to AV node, AV node to AV bundle to Purkinje fiber, they are also depending upon the calcium. If the calcium is less, means that action potential can move slowly. So due to slow movement, the heart rate was decreases. So like that, the calcium channel blocker, so they can decrease the force of contraction and decrease the heart rate. So due to this reason, so they are used for the treatment of the hypertension. In the blood vessels, so they are decreases the peripheral vascular resistance. So due to that, they can decrease the preload as well as afterload. So that is also beneficial, helpful for the treatment of the hypertension. So regarding the ADR or side effects, so they are produces the flushing, that is the redness in the face, because so they can decrease the blood pressure. So the movement of blood pressure, blood is slow. So due to that, the flushing is occurs. Then headache in the CNS, lack of oxygen. Then we are suffering from the abnormalities in the CNS. Then ankle swelling, because the more blood was swelled in the legs due to lack of contractions of the muscles in the leg or blood vessels. Palpitations. Then light headiness. Then regarding the uses, so they are used for the treatment of the angina pectoris, then as well as hypertension. Then they are used for the treatment of the paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia. If any block in the heart, so on that time the extra systole was produced. So that condition was known as the paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia. So that was also treated. So with the help of the calcium channel blockers like a verapamil, dilatisms, nifedipine, then as well as the amlodipine and philodipines. So next one. So regarding So next one is the pharmacology of symptomatic inhibitors. So these are also known as the beta blockers or alpha blockers or sympatholytic drugs. So these are the class of drugs. So they are predominantly used for management of the abnormal rhythm, or so these drugs, so they are mainly protect the heart from the heart attack, second heart attack or myocardial infarctions. So examples are atenolol, carvedilol, then metoprolol. So actions, so these are mainly decrease the beta blocker activity or beta receptor activity, because the beta receptors they are present in the heart as well as the kidney, where they can enhance the accumulations of calcium. Due to that, the force of contraction, heart rate is increases, and these drugs they can block the beta 1 receptor or beta receptor. So due to that, they can decrease the force of contraction, then they can decrease the blood pressure. And beta blockers also decrease the central sympathetic outflow. So due to that, they can decrease the release of noradrenaline. Then they are helpful for the management of the hypertension. And beta blocker are also decrease the release of the renin. So by acting through a beta 1 receptor, the beta 1 receptor is also present in the kidney. So where the adrenaline is or noradrenaline acts on beta 1, enhance the release of renin. And here these drugs they can block the beta 1 receptor, then they are inhibit the release of renin. And beta blockers are sympathetic inhibitor, they also inhibit the formations of angiotensin 2, because lack of renin, the angiotensin 2 cannot be formed, because renin is required for the formation or conversions of angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1. Then angiotensin 1 is converted into angiotensin 2. So here the drugs they are inhibit the release of renin, and lack of renin, the angiotensin 2 is do not forms. So these drugs, so they are mainly acts on CVS or ANS. So they are enhanced, so they are inhibit the adrenaline activity in CNS as well as ANS. So like that, they can cancel the all the effect of adrenaline and noradrenaline, both ANS as well as CNS and as well as the CVS. So regarding side effects, so these are mainly participate the cause of fatigue, cold extremities, headache, and as well as the nausea. So main uses, so they are used in the treatment of ischemic heart disease, chronic heart failure, atrial fibrillation, and supraventricular tachycardia.